The Google Gang Podcast.
I don't tattoo myself anymore, man.
Those days are behind you.
I don't even get tattooed by anybody else. I think it's
when was the last time you had a tat?
It's about 6 months, I think. I've done about half an hour and then just give up. Can't love it.
So it's an uncompleted tat.
Yeah. I mean, I've just got all the spaces I've got left. The spaces people are never going to see anyway.
Okay.
So I just think, what's the point?
Are you thinking about getting your neck done?
No, can't be bothered. Yeah, it's too much. It's too painful, man. When people say they don't hurt, they just chat pure shit. Like,
do people come into the, what do you call it? The salon? No.
Tattoo shop.
The tattoo shop. The shop, right. The salon sounds wank.
The salon, yeah.
People come in and be like, oh, I'm addicted to the feeling of tattoos. And then you put the needle on and they're like, ah!
Yeah, well, you see, people saying, oh, I like the pain, mate. I actually like the pain. It's like, nobody likes the pain unless you're in some weird, like, S&M shit. Well, this one guy was saying once he's like, oh, I like it, mate. It sends me to sleep. And about 3 hours into his session, I went up to see him, and he was in absolute agony. And I was like, I thought you said it didn't hurt.
Yeah.
And the guy tattooing him was just like, shut up. He's in proper bits, man. But
oh my god.
I think people just try and act up, like how tough they are. Because they come into the tattoo shop and we're all covered in tattoos and that, and they're all like, yeah, it doesn't hurt. I don't think it hurts. And we're all like, definitely hurts. Like,
yeah.
Why are you lying? We know that it hurts.
We know it hurts. We've had it done.
We all hate getting tattooed as well.
Really?
Like, every tattoo artist I know hates getting tattooed. And I think it's because you put people through that pain, so you're getting all of the karma back. So I think it hurts us more.
Has it made you
people.
like a, would you say it's made you like a nicer or a kinder person? Because you have to be there being like, oh, it's okay. Like you're almost like taking care of people's health.
Yeah, but only sometimes. Because like when I got my first tattoo, the guy was like a proper old school guy. He was about 40. And I was
Is
in
that
pain.
old school?
When I was 17,
okay.
he was 40.
Okay.
So he'd been tattooing for like a good 30 years.
Yeah. He started tattooing when he was 10.
Probably, yeah.
It's fucking Liverpool, mate.
Liverpool matched that, bro. Yeah, so I was in pain getting mine done because it was on my ribs and it was my first one.
You got your first one on the ribs?
Yeah, he kind of like forced me into doing it.
Is it because you thought you were hard or?
No, I wanted it on my leg and he was like, no, it looked better on the ribs, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like twitching while he was doing it and he was just like, stop moving. Just stop moving. And I was like, but I can't not move. Like, I'm getting needles like stabbed into my side now. But he was just proper horrible with me. But I think it's not the best way to be. But sometimes you do get frustrated with people.
Yeah.
That you try and be kind and like empathetic towards them and that, but sometimes you're just like, alright, stop it now.
So do you think you're hard now?
No.
With all these tats?
No, I hate it.
Did you ever think you were hard?
No, never ever thought it was hard. Never ever thought that. And like, I'll be the first person to say like, oh, it hurts really bad. Like, and I'm proper shit at getting tattooed as well.
But what about when other people see you and they see this like tatted up guy? Say you're like in Australia, right, and you got a singlet on and you're just covered in tats. People look at you and think, maybe he's hard, and do you go, oh yeah, maybe they think I'm hard?
No, definitely not. I forget about them most of the time. Like, I forget I've got that many. So when you see people looking at your arms and stuff, you're like, oh fuck yeah, I've got loads
got a bunch
of tattoos.
Of fucking drawings
it's
on
weird.
my arms.
But I've never thought like, oh yeah, I'm dead hard because I've got all these.
Has anyone
I just
ever...
think I'm fucking stupid, man. It's such a stupid thing to do.
You think tattooing's stupid?
Most of them, yeah. Because people get them when they're like 18 and they get like a fucking Rick and Morty tattoo.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, this is so cool. And you're like, yeah, it looks cool, but I guarantee you in 10 years you don't like Rick and Morty anymore.
Because it won't even be a thing.
Yeah, and you're just like, what the fuck, why have I done this?
Someone gets like a fucking House of Cards tattoo, Kevin Spacey on the...
Well, I've got an Attenborough tattoo, haven't I? So I'm waiting for him to fucking... you best not be nonsense, people, because...
You best not be nonsense.
I'll have to get one of the little disguises. No,
I reckon Attenborough's more likely to get busted for bestiality than nonsense.
I'm alright with that.
Have you heard about, like... Would it be a scandal if Attenborough got caught, like, you know, fingering an antelope or something?
Yeah, definitely would be a scandal. Why would it not be? Just because it's him, we go, oh, we'll let him off. Because he's
But he's around animals all the time, mind you. Jimmy Savile was around kids all the time.
Yeah, but he done bad things. But I mean, I'm around people all the time. I don't go around like trying to finger people. You know what I mean? I don't think it works that way. Just because you're hanging around with stuff. I've been around loads of fruit. Don't go fucking sticking me dick in bananas and that.
Have you ever known anybody that's ever had sex with food?
I probably know people who've done it, but I don't know they've done it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get you.
Statistically, somebody I know has had sex with something they shouldn't have.
I had a guy seriously try and tell me, like, he was not joking, a bloke that I work with, Scouse lad, right? It makes more sense, right? That if you warm up a porridge, right, you overcook a porridge, right? So it's nice and thick, but then let it cool, right? Let it cool so you can wrap your hand around it comfortably and then just slip your, like one of those instant pot oat things.
Oh, okay, in a pot. I thought you just meant like in a bowl.
Yeah, no, the pot ones where you add milk, put it in the thing, in the microwave. He goes, the trick is to put it in for like 30 seconds longer than what they say, but let it cool for like double the time. And then he goes, just pop your dick in there. He's like, it's just basically it's a poor lonely man's fleshlight.
Yeah.
So
I'll have to go pick up some porridge.
But you're not poor or lonely.
I know, but there's times when I'm in the house, so I've got half an hour. I think I could get one on.
Half an hour until what? Until your girlfriend comes home and you can have the real deal instead of fucking a pot of oats.
Gotta get warmed up, haven't you? Like doing stretches.
Well, he also said as well, when I realised he might have been joking, was he goes, after you finish with it, you've got a nice, you know, creamy snack. And I was like, no, we're taking the piss now.
Definitely horrible, that.
It's disgusting. I've never ever looked at food and had the desire to have sex with it.
No, I mean, only because I've seen it in films. And you go, I wonder if it really feels like the real thing.
Well,
but I've never actually had a watermelon and gone, I'm gonna fuck this.
there was an Australian rugby player that got caught putting peanut butter all over his knob and then having a dog lick it off. Is that bestiality or is that fucking food?
There's a fine line there, isn't there? Because the dog's just doing dog stuff.
Yeah.
But the guy's done it on purpose. It's not like he spilt it on and then
peanut butter's not really a spilling.
He was looking for a towel or something, and then the dog just cracked on. So
for some reason, there's a video of it, and he's in like a computer chair.
Rugby people seem to be dead weird, don't they? All I see all over the internet is like, oh, there was someone at hot water, and they had a fucking rugby in the crowd, and they were saying like loads of mad shit, but they just do horrible stuff, man. All I've ever heard about rugby people is just do weird stuff, like, you just shit in his hand and like put it in his mouth. And I was like, that's not normal. And people just assume, oh yeah, he definitely plays rugby.
Have you not heard the phrase, it's not gay, it's rugby?
Yeah, I have heard that phrase,
right. Yeah. It's a thing that rugby players say when they're doing gay shit, right? So, me and him, I told this story on Harry Stakini's podcast, right? But I'll tell it again for the benefit of the listeners, right? We went out with these 8 rugby lads, right? And they were dressed as like old men. They had like flat caps on, sort of like old style, like cricket players or something, but they were a part of a rugby team from Hull University, right? Yeah. And one of the guys in the group was called Angus Milbourne, right? And Angus Milbourne...
Are you allowed to say his name?
No, it's fine, mate. I've said it on about 4 different podcasts now. It's a classic story. Fuck you, Angus Milbourne. I'll never see that cunt again. No. But he rocked up late, and there was another lad there who was a really big lad who had a fit sister, apparently, right? And Angus Milbourne had hooked up with this bloke's sister, and that bloke's sister was 16 at the time, right?
Yeah.
So the song went like this. As soon as Angus Milbourne arrived, right, they all start clapping, and then they start going, his name is Angus Milbourne, and he watches loads of kids porn. He's a paedophile. Paedophile. And that was just it. And he loved the song.
Yeah.
Like Angus was there clapping along, like singing the song about him being a nonce.
Yeah. And someone needs to look at Angus's
search history.
Yeah. I don't trust that guy.
Well, it got gayer from there because there was another lad at one point. We walked into the pub and they started singing another song that wasn't as memorable as the Angus Milburn song. But next thing I know, there's a guy in the middle of a circle with his pants around his ankles, and everyone else is trying to like touch his scrotum as he's just like dancing around. And then it all ended. The reason it ended is a guy got.
Someone got an erection. No, it's gay now. It's definitely gay now.
A guy got like a fucking salt shaker or something and tried to put it in his bum.
What did he teach you?
And that was where we draw the line. That was all too much.
I just don't understand it, man. Like,
so it was one of the funnest nights of my life, but very, very gay.
did you ever play rugby?
I did play rugby, but it's not gay, it's rugby thing was not really a thing in Australia.
I played it a few times in school, but I used to be like...
I can't imagine you would have been very good.
Well, no, I once held a pad for someone who was like practicing a tackle, and he actually played rugby for St Helens.
Yeah.
And he ran into me, and it was like, do you know in films where they like actually get knocked off their feet and fly through the air?
Yeah.
That happened to me. Like I didn't think it was a real thing. It hit me and I went, whoa, like through the air.
Like up
winded, yeah, proper winded, and I was like, yeah, rugby's not for me. I was on at 9 stone.
What sport did you play any sport?
I used to just skate all the time.
Okay.
And play the odd game of footy. I used to play basketball actually. I like playing basketball. But
again, the height, the size.
yeah, I broke my finger and then didn't play.
Donald Mackerel's a very good basketball player, and he's not very tall.
Yeah.
I mean...
Cool. We'll have to challenge him to a game of one-on-one or something, I don't know.
He'd fuck you up, mate.
I know, probably.
He plays for Wrexham or something very important team.
Yeah. Not that important.
He plays for the Wrexham under 45s.
Yeah. Under 45 inches.
Oh my god. I'm just imagining Donald Mackerel trying to play basketball.
The badger. Ah, you fucking cunt.
Do you... So, have you ever thought about what your life would be like if you weren't Dean Coughlin?
Yeah, all the time.
Like, do you look at other people and think, not what would it be like to be them, but like, I could be them?
I don't think about that because it's... No matter how much you think about it, it's impossible to be them anyway. So there's no point spending time thinking about that, I don't think. But I do spend a lot of time just thinking like, what's everyone else doing? Like, where's this person going? You know, like
after they interact with you, what's their
not
next
even
step?
not even like after interacting with me. You just see a car driving in front of you, and you're like, where have they been? Where are they going? Like, do you know what I mean?
It's proper stoner thoughts.
It is proper. Yeah. But
where have they been? Where are they going?
It just fascinates me, like what other people do with their lives, and if I'm just being dead boring.
Do you ever... This might be a thing that people with anxiety suffer from. Do you have anxiety?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. Do you...
seems to be it.
Everyone's got anxiety. But do you ever, like, review your interactions with people? So, like, after you've spoken to them, do you be like, you know... Was that good for them? Did I sort of give them like the best?
Most of the time, I leave going, "Oh, that was awkward,"
because you make it awkward.
Yeah, most of it because I'll say something that they don't understand, or because I think unless you don't know me, stuff I say can be like either just taken completely out of context and it just looks like I'm a wanker. Like the lads I work with.
Is it because you're wanking?
Yeah, maybe. Just asking if you've got any porridge in.
Yeah.
But like one of the lads I work with was going out on a date. Like they were going on a double date because he'd set him up. And I was like, oh, well, me and Amy not invited, no? And he was like, no. I was like, why not? And he was like, because you're a dick sometimes to people who don't know you. And I was like, but I'm not horrible. And he's like, no, we know you're not horrible. But the people who don't know you think that you're being horrible.
I've never thought you're horrible though. Mind you, I'm a comedian, so
yeah,
it takes a lot to upset me.
Because I'll just say stuff without thinking, and then it's too late then. And some people don't like. You see customers in the shop sometimes. You say something to them and they just don't get it, and you're like, this is going to be a long 2 hours now.
Yeah, they have to sit there and look over at you. Do you ever talk to the people that you're not tattooing?
Sometimes I just talk to the shop, speak to everybody. I might hear somebody saying something over there, and I'll like geg in. Sorry for gegging in, but like, did you know this as well? You know.
I feel like you've got a bunch of just random facts in your head.
Oh, that's all my head is.
From like documentaries. Have you got one for me?
I read one the other day about oranges and lemons being exactly the same, like on a molecular level, but complete mirrors of each other. So they're exactly the same, just mirror opposites.
So everything about them is this. So they're the same, but they're opposite.
Yeah. So if you got like the molecular structure of an orange and mirrored it, you get a lemon. That's all that is. There's no funny behind it. It's just
you heard it here first.
You asked for the fact, and that was the first one in my mind.
So, what I do want to know, and why I got you on here, you probably don't know why I've got you on here. You think it's because we're friends.
We're being ambushed.
But the reason I got you on here is because you have decided to bite the big Kiwi bullet and move to New Zealand.
For a bit, yeah.
Why?
I just want to go travelling, man. Just go on another adventure.
So the bug has got you again, and you've already done Australia.
I mean, the bug pretty much hit me as soon as I got back. Like, I missed everybody at home. I missed Liverpool and stuff, and being able to see my mates and that. But then as soon as I got home, and I was like, oh, nothing's changed. Like, it's literally exactly the same. It feels like I have never left. And then all my friends have got older now, and some of them have started having kids and moved away and stuff. And it's like, so I don't even see them anymore, really.
Yeah. Are these like the lads you used to skate with?
Just lads from school. Some lads I used to be in a band with. Still see them. Try and meet up every now and then, but most of my mates I don't really see that much anyway. So then as soon as I was back after like a few months of being home, it was like, right, well, I wasn't missing anything. Like, nothing's changed. Like, do you get what I mean? Yeah. It's a weird feeling. So so since then we were like...
Some people like that though. Some people like to come back and be like, oh, nothing's changed, thank goodness. And then they just slip back into where they were. But I think me and you are the same in the sense that I'm going back to Australia in June for 2 weeks. I'm like looking forward to it. But then I'm like, when I'm there, I'm going to be like, can't wait to go back to England and do what I do here.
Yeah, that 2 weeks you'll be like, oh, it was nice to come home and see everyone, but...
Now we're off. Again. Yeah, it's going to be so weird. And it is, it's like a... Do you find it weird, because you've started over a lot of times in the sense of going and coming back and doing all that jazz. Has starting over lost its appeal for you yet?
It's a bit scary, because like starting doing stand-up now, I've only done that in the last like year. So moving to another country and like wanting to carry on doing it, that's the scariest bit, So I'm looking forward to it. But I'm also worried that I get there and go, it's rubbish here. Like, I want to go home and...
Are you going to Auckland?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, mostly living in Auckland, but we're going to the South Island for 2 weeks first. That'd be good. It's only freezing, man. We're going in winter.
I know.
-10.
It's not -10.
Some places it's -10 in there.
Oh, in the South Island, maybe, yeah. See, I grew up in Whangarei. You have to go visit my hometown. It's 3 hours north of Auckland. And it's
nice weather.
The most beautiful place. Beautiful weather, beautiful waterfalls, beaches, everything amazing. However, there's no one there. Oh. The town has like 38,000 people. Yeah. That's it, mate.
I have to go up, man. Check it out.
So if you want to break from Auckland, it's just there and you can go up.
I feel like Auckland's not... I don't know why, but I feel like it's not going to be that busy of a place.
Compared to Liverpool and Manchester, probably.
And Melbourne.
Yeah.
Melbourne as well.
Yeah. Probably
so I feel like it's not going to be too bad.
It is still pretty busy. It's big though. It's expansive. Yeah. Like, you know how Melbourne was big, but there was also a lot of people. Auckland's big. But if you think about it, a quarter of New Zealand's whole population are in that one city.
Yeah, right.
So, but the city is huge. Yeah. Like, Liverpool's tiny.
Oh, Liverpool's like such a good size, I think.
Yeah.
You can walk from one end to the other in like 20 minutes or something. Did you go for Scouts that time?
No, we couldn't find it. It was Betty Mays or something, you said? Maggie Mays. We did look for it, but we couldn't get it, mate. I was hoping that you'd bring me some today.
No. I can't make that stuff. They make the best one in Liverpool. Do you know Action Bronson?
No.
He's
the actor?
He's a rapper. Oh. It's Charles Bronson, I think.
Oh, that's the guy that's part of the NRA.
Pierce Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan. We've gotten way off track here.
Action Bronson. He's a rapper.
Okay.
He's got a...
Scouse rapper?
No, he's from New York or something.
Okay.
He's got a show on Vice called Fuck That's Delicious, and like he goes around the world trying all this amazing food and that. And he come to Liverpool.
And tried Scouse.
And he went to Maggie Mae's and had Scouse. Yeah.
And did he like it?
Yeah, he loved it. It's like a stew, pretty much. You know, like, I don't think there's stuff in it that you can't like.
Other than the Beatles, what else is Liverpool known for? And the football club.
The football club, yeah.
Is there any like secrets that only Liverpudlians know?
I mean, it depends where you're going, innit? Like, round the rest of England, pretty much everybody thinks we're all criminals. People just don't like you as soon as they hear your voice sometimes. And we went out in Sheffield, and we were just talking in a bar, and a group of girls were stood next to us, and I seen one of them go, they're from Liverpool. And then they moved. I was like, I wasn't even trying to talk to you. We were just around them.
You're just next to them.
And they were just like, oh yeah, they're going to rob us or something, and just got off. It was just...
Have you ever been bullied, like, as an adult for either your tattoos or your accent? Like, where someone's been, like, really horrible to you based on the way you look and sound?
No, only you. Not really, no.
Because you look like Squidwards fucking house, man.
Yeah. Well, I think most people aren't that bothered by tattoos anymore.
Okay.
So they don't really... the only time people have said anything about tattoos is when they're saying, oh, they've got nice tattoos, and then... But that's more annoying, I think, because people try and, like, look at them. You know, you don't want people to, like, touch you, and people, like, grab your arm and look at them, and just like, what are you doing, man?
I'd never ever do that to someone. Like, grab them and be like, give me a look, mate.
Yeah,
like,
but people do it. Like, oh, it's so weird. People are mad. What are we talking about? Liverpool. I don't know. We haven't got any secrets, really.
Everything's out in the open. Is there a place? Is there a place that only Scousers know about? That like a bar or a restaurant?
Probably Concert Square. Like,
I know about Concert Square.
Yeah, but you've been around Liverpool and that, haven't you?
It's only because when we were there, the hotel we were at was like just behind.
Because everyone who comes to Liverpool, like, say we get groups of people in for tattoos coming on, like stag and hen do's and that, they're always asking, like, where's the best place to go? And most of the time, Concert Square will be like the best place for them types of people to be going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But nobody seems to ever know. I don't know if they just don't do the research before they come to Liverpool.
I feel like as well, you can look on Google and you can be like, oh, where are the best places to go? And Google tells you. But if an actual face that sounds like, has the accent of where you are, says this is the best place to go, like the Maggie Mae's suggestion, you automatically want to follow it because you're like, he must know.
Yeah.
Like,
even though I don't go to Concert Square. Because I like, can't stand any of the people that go there, but... It seems like the types of people that come for nights out would want to go.
That area is a good
Concert
area.
Square, you get what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
That seems to be the only recommendation I get asked for when from people who are not from Liverpool. Like, where's the best place to go out? So,
can I ask you, right? Back in the days when you were a skater, did you have the dreams and aspirations of being a professional skater? Yeah,
not like it was never like, oh, this is what I want to do for a job, because I did always want to be a tattoo artist for some reason. I don't know why. Just always wanted to. But it was always like the idea of, it was just getting like shoes and clothes and free skateboards. That was what I wanted.
So you didn't even want a living wage. You just wanted to be like sponsored by
No, because that's all not nobody, none of that.
I don't know any other skate brands.
But it was just like, I never seen it as something to make money off. All I ever seen was like, oh, this guy's sponsored by Adidas, and then you just get like shoes sent to their house all the time and stuff, and it was like, yeah, that'd be sick.
Is that like the dream for you?
Yeah, well, yeah, and then just going like skating competitions and stuff, but I don't even know how you make a wage off of skateboarding.
How good were you? Were you proper good? Or?
Nah, it depends. What are you comparing it to? Like not Tony Hawk.
In your repertoire of tricks, how many tricks did you have? And then how often were you wiping out?
I probably fell off more than I landed stuff.
Okay. Is it because you were adventurous though? Is it because you like trying new things?
Just that was the only way to do stuff. You have to try, because when you were skating, everyone would be watching, and then you could go and do something, and everyone would be like, "Oh yeah, that was dead easy."
Yeah.
Or you could do something that everyone would like go mad over. So you try stuff, and sometimes you'd be trying stuff for ages, and then finally land it, and everybody was like, "Hey, fucking, he's been trying that for like 2 hours or whatever," you know. But I was all right. I was better than some people, but worse than other people.
What move were you most proud of? Like, was there a time where you landed something and you got off the board and you're like, I cannot believe I just did that?
No, I used to be a bit of a weird skater, so I always used to like. People usually learn like ollies and then kick flips, but I learned to heel flip before I could kick flip, which everybody was like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "I don't know. That was easier to me." So I
think a heel flip would be easier.
But nobody does it first. Everybody learns kick flips first.
Yeah, kick flip is
and I couldn't
intricate.
do them.
Yeah.
At first. So I used to always, like, if you play a game of skate with someone, which is just like, you know, a game of skate is, yeah.
Like Horse, one Tony Hawk.
Yeah. Yeah. I always used to do heel flips and that because nobody could land them as well as, but then everyone else would just do kick flips.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't do them, really. But when I first learned 360 flips, that was probably the best day. Cause
like, get the board
360 with a flip, so it's like a kick flip, but the board goes 360 as well.
What?
Yeah. But that was probably one of the best ones I could do, just off the floor, like, you know. I never used to really like skating, like ramps, like.
You just skate on the floor?
I'd skate like mini half pipes and stuff, but you know, like the big bowls and big giant half pipes where people get mad air and that. Like I never.
You weren't getting mad at. You weren't doing 900.
I didn't want to, and I did. In my head, it didn't make sense how it worked.
Right, because it was too dangerous. Is that?
No, it never clicked in my mind like how people done it.
Oh right.
Like, I could never like people that come out of half pipes and like grab the board and do like melons and shit like that. I don't even know the names of some of the moves, but I could never just get the hang of doing it. So I was just like So
were you trying and like fucking up? Or?
Try a few times and then go, nah, it's not for me.
Yeah.
Just stick to street style of skating.
So what was the worst injury you had skateboarding?
Broke my tailbone. That was a pretty bad one, and I messed my knee up, which is still bad to this day, but I've never been to the hospital or anything to sort it out, so
fuck it up.
Probably need surgery in a few years, I reckon, because I've tapped myself a few times, you know, training, like practicing like a triangle or something, and my knee will just pop out and I'm like, oh no, I'm out. So, but that was bad, but that was just from learning to drop in to a ramp.
Is there any injuries that you saw anyone else have that were like catastrophic, where you were just
I've seen a guy on a BMX hit his head and we all thought he died. I genuinely thought he was dead. He come out of one ramp to like clear a flat section down and into another ramp, but there was like steel girders along the top of the roof, and he come out too high, hit his head on the girder, fell back, and then his bike landed on him, but he just hit the deck, man, and he was out, and the whole skate park just stopped.
Did he have a helmet on?
He had a helmet on,
okay,
but
good.
Still, like, it was rough, man. Everyone thought he was dead, like, for ages, but he didn't die.
Did no one go and check on him?
Everyone, like, all the medics and everyone come in and...
What do you mean, the medics? Were there medics
the guys that, like, run the skate park.
So it was an indoor skate park?
Yeah, there's a big one in Liverpool.
Right, okay. See, in my head, like, when we used to go to the skate park, I was never a good skater. Let's get that on the record, right? I was a better scooter rider than anything, right? Yeah. Razor scooters was my jam, right? But, like, when we were outside, there was no staff around, there was no parents, it was just, like, fucking have
There's
at it.
a few of them about, but this was, like, it's one of the biggest in Europe, I think. It's called Rampworks.
And do you have to pay to get in?
Yeah.
How much, like, what's it?
It used to be $5 a go.
Okay.
But if you went twice in a week, you could go your third time for free.
And how long did you get in there?
You go from, like, I think it was like 6 till 10.
So you got 2 hours for £5?
No, 4 hours.
Oh, shit. Right, okay. That's decent.
Yeah, it was alright. And then everybody, like... It used to be just the place where people would go on a Friday night as well. Because you could go in, at first you could go in for free if you were just spectating. And then they started charging like £2 or something for spectators. But that's like where all my mates and that first started like speaking to girls and stuff.
Yeah.
Because girls had just come, and then they just hang around the skate park, and then it'd just be like Friday night, like, oh, we're going to Rampworks. Yeah. So we go skating, and then like also be trying to like get girlfriends and stuff as well. And it's just like a place to hang out. It was weird.
Was it automatically like you wanted to get a girlfriend, or did you just want to get a girl to talk to you?
No,
or
like,
a girl to sleep with you?
No, it wasn't any of that. It just naturally just started happening. Like you just start talking to be like a group of girls,
and they're just standing there, just waiting for someone to speak to them. And then as soon as you would, they'd be like, "Oh no, stop!" Like, because why else would you go?
I can't remember why they used to go. To be honest, I remember them just being there, and we being like, "Oh, right, we're skating," and then you go over like the little seating area. I literally can't remember how people used to start talking to people.
So would it be like, okay, this is how I imagine it, right? You're there, and like there's a group of 4 lads, and you guys are like on the ramp, right? And there's a group of girls that are clearly watching your group, and you're like the rest of them, like, lads, watch this, right? You go down the ramp, you land like a sick heel flip, you go into like a manual, right? You're like manualing across, and then you do like a kick flip at the end. You grab your board, you look at the boys, you look over at the girls, and then you just slowly like skate over towards the girls and be like, how's your night going?
Yeah, I mean, I was never that cool. I was like, I mean, that sounds in my head, that was probably how I'd want it to happen. All I can remember is one time falling off in front of them all.
You'd never go up and speak after a stack, like, if you fell off?
No, that's probably the worst thing you could do.
It's like finishing your comedy set. The funniest thing I ever saw the other week was Sam Serrano at my night said, "All right, guys, this is my last one before I go." He said it 7 times because he didn't get the level of applause he was looking for, or the level of praise. He goes, all right, one more for you. One more. And then he'd do it, and it just like, it would land, but like it just wouldn't land as hard as he wanted. Yeah. He'd be like, all right, guys, I've got one more for you. He just kept going.
Yeah, that's the equivalent of falling off and going, all right, girls, watch this. Watch this. I'll try to kick
No, I can do it. Okay, you should have been here last week.
Yeah. Well, no, it was a good time, Rampworks, man.
So why did you stop skating? Just because real life took over?
Just getting older, yeah. People just slowly stopped doing it.
Girls stopped coming.
Yeah.
How did you meet your current girlfriend?
I tattooed her.
Oh, right.
And then
no skating involved.
No, unfortunately. But it is dead funny because I met her through tattooing her, and then her ex-boyfriend paid for the tattoo.
What?
Because they were together
at
first, so he paid for the tattoo that I done.
Was he there with you?
Yeah.
Oh, so the 3 of you were hanging out?
Well, no, we weren't hanging out. She was just a client at first. Like, I didn't know her.
Yeah, but he came in to get the tattoo with her.
Yeah.
And you like looked at her, you're like, a bit of alright.
We were just chatting, and then they split up.
And then she came back to the shop, or how did she find you again?
Yeah, we were just chatting. Facebook, I think, yeah.
So she added you on Facebook after the tattoo?
I probably added her, let's be real.
Okay, right. So you saw her, you added her, and did you think at the time the fella was a bit of a dick?
No, not really. I didn't know him, to be honest. I know now that I think he was a bit of a dickhead.
Okay.
Because I've heard stories from her about him. But
at the time when you were tattooing her, were you thinking, damn, if this bird didn't have a boyfriend?
Yeah. We all used to say, like, when she was coming into the shop, we always used to, like...
Did she come in regularly?
Yeah, she was getting tattooed by someone else at first.
Right.
And then she wanted something that in the style that I do, so she got put onto me. But then every time, like, I had it booked in, I'd be like, oh, Amy's coming in, and we'd all be like, Amy Lee. That was like a thing about her.
So she was like she was like a cult client. Like everyone knew her. She had her own fucking catchphrase and everything.
Yeah, and then one day she was getting tattooed by another lad, and then getting tattooed by me, and I was like, I wish I'd never said it, but I was like, oh, we could double team here if we want. And she was like, no, and I was like, oh, okay. That didn't go down too well.
So did you have to fight any of the other lads in the tattoo shop for her, or did they know that you fancied her?
I mean, most of them were in relationships anyway.
Right.
And then...
So were you like the young kid of the shop, and it was like, hey, here we go, 1 for Dean?
Yeah, kind of. But I think... No, I don't know, man. They don't really fight over women in tattoo shops.
Not like fight over women, but was there like another lad that was like, oh yeah, she's a bit of alright, and you're like, yeah, but I'm gonna
No. Everyone was seeing people.
Okay.
I think I was seeing someone at the time, but then me and her broke up. So then that's when we started talking, like.
Right.
But when we started talking, we just used to send each other
Tattoos.
jokes. No, we were just sending jokes, and it gradually got worse and worse to like most offensive joke you could come up with.
So you were like writing proper jokes or like memes that other people had done?
Just jokes I'd heard and remembered, like offensive jokes that I don't know who wrote any of them.
Yeah.
You just know them through school and stuff like that.
You didn't make up any of them?
No, but neither did she. It's
okay,
like,
right.
Like she's going to hear this and go, "You lied to me." Like,
was she upset about what I said on the other podcast about you?
No, I don't think so. But
I won't repeat it for your benefit.
There's nothing to repeat. Just trying to throw me, get me into trouble for
You
nothing.
sly dog. What's been like in your time since you've been back from Australia? Because I assume that Australia was a pretty exciting time for you. What's been the most memorable moment for you since you've been back? Because I assume you came back different to when you left.
Yeah. Well, I left non-vegan, come back a vegan with long hair.
Right.
Absolute proper hippie.
Do you think that was Australia that did that to you?
No, I just couldn't be bothered getting my hair cut. I wanted to grow my hair because I hate getting haircuts.
But that has nothing to do with the reason why you changed your diet.
No.
Okay.
That's just a little joke for the listeners there. This will be my last one and then I'll go.
Alright, Sam.
The best thing that probably happened while we've been back's been going to Edinburgh Fringe, I think. That's probably one of the most rememberable. Rememberable? Is that the right word? Memorable.
Yeah.
Fucking so scouse.
Liverpool education right there. What happened at Edinburgh Fringe? What was the highlight of Edinburgh?
It was just amazing. Just had a great time.
Just
like, never
place
been
to
before. Didn't know what it was going to be like. And it just blew my mind.
You're not going to go this year because you'll be in New Zealand, won't you?
I'll be in New Zealand, yeah. But next time we're back in England, I'm going to go 100%. Go for longer as well. We only went for like 3 days.
Yeah.
And I didn't realise
only
the
3
scale of
days.
it. Yeah. Well, I didn't realise like the enormity of it. Like I didn't think you'd need longer than that to go see people.
Maybe that's why you loved it so much. Because if you ask the guys that went there for a month,
but they're doing shows and working.
Yeah.
And that, aren't they? Like I went purely just to watch stand up. Like I'd done the roast while I was there, but other than that, I didn't do any sets or anything. I just went to see a load of people. Like, and that was amazing for me because it's just like it's like going to a music festival and you get to see all your favourite bands and just go see but it's just all comedians and stuff. And then you see loads of stuff that you never thought of seeing. You know, like just random shit.
Is this like that Aussie guy with the helmet on?
Yeah, fuck that guy. Stuntman. No, I don't know that. It's the worst thing ever.
Comedy stuntman.
Absolute garbage.
If you could give one recommendation of an act for me to see, because I'm going this year.
It's Sean McLaughlin.
Mm-hmm.
Is that his name? Sean McLaughlin?
Sean Locke?
No. It's Sean McLaughlin, I think. Adam Rose Hour was amazing last time. Dan Nightingale was sick as well. I went to see Reginald D. Hunter. He was great as well, man. There's so many people. But who else was there? I can't remember. There was a lot though. It was a lot for 3 days.
Was it just like like sunrise to sunset, just comedy?
Yeah, pretty much.
Time?
Just woke up, went into Edinburgh. I'd like the programme and trying to work out like who you were going to see and where they were. But there's that many venues and that many acts on. Like you'd have to properly work it out to a T. Like okay, this one finishes at 2 o'clock. We got to get here before 2:30 before this one starts, and then that one will finish at this time, and we've got to go try and see this guy. You know, so it's just chaotic. Whereas if you had like a week.
Did you go to the theme parks in Australia on the Gold Coast?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you bother seeing the shows at the theme parks?
No. I'm not a child.
Oh.
I went on the big roller coasters and then went left.
I remember like there was one time where we went to like SeaWorld and it was like that, similar to a music festival, but like the same sort of jazz where it was like, so we'll finish looking at the dolphins and after this, and I'd planned out the entire day before I'd even got there, and the plan went fully out the window because you just get fucking distracted when you're 11.
There's other stuff going on and that.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean, if I had like a week in Edinburgh maybe, you'd be less stressed trying to see everything you wanted to see.
Yeah.
Because everybody plays every day, you know. But because we were only there for 3 days, the first day, half of the day I just spent with my head rolling all over the place because it was so busy and there was just so much stuff going on and we didn't know the city. You know, like. But then the second day was when we started getting like the hang of where the venues were, and because sometimes you go.
I'm going to go for 11 days this year.
Yeah, no, that'd be fine.
But perform for 11 days and then the rest of the time flyer and do my thing.
Yeah, well, it's just once you know, like, you see the venues next to act names and you go, oh, that was that place we went last night, so you know where it is. But when you don't know any of them, you're like, oh, this guy's at this place, and you go, oh, it's half an hour away. You're going to miss that. We'll go to that tomorrow. And then, you know, like, so you need a few days to get, like, work out what you're doing.
To get your bearings.
Yeah. By the time that had happened, we were coming home again.
Is there anywhere else that has that? Because there's, like, Brighton Fringe, and there's these other fringes, but there's nowhere else that does it like that. I think
Edinburgh's, like, world famous.
Like, but, like, in terms of scale, like, there's all these other fringes like Manchester Fringe, all this jazz, even like Brisbane Comedy Festival and all that,
like
as opposed to Melbourne
like
Comedy
4
Festival.
4 days or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, it's just not the same scale to what Edinburgh is, I don't think.
Do you know why Edinburgh became such a big mecca?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. They've smashed it though. Like,
they know how to do it.
There's just comedy everywhere. There's just so many venues. Like, you'll be in one venue and you'll be hearing laughter from another crowd. Because they're that close together, and you're like underground in like mad old caves and shit, man. Just comedy everywhere. Like, it's amazing. Like,
isn't it?
So
isn't it true that some, like, the people that live in Edinburgh will literally like leave the city for a month, lease out their houses?
I think if I lived there and didn't really want anything to do with it, you'd have to leave.
It's the same with schoolies on the Gold Coast. Did you know? Like the school leavers celebration that they have after kids finish year 12, they all get hotels on the Gold Coast, get pissed and just fucking punch each other at the Gold Coast.
Definitely leave.
And literally the people of the Gold Coast just go, catch ya. Yeah. We're going to Bali or wherever.
No, I understand why if you live there you take some time away, because it's just it'd be a nightmare getting to work. You know, like if you had to get, because loads of roads are closed, so you can't get like buses and that through certain routes and shit, like, and there's just thousands of people just about getting pissed in the street and all that, and you go, nah, I'm having a 2-week holiday or something here, getting away.
I'm having none of this.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't mind moving to Edinburgh. Like, it's a really nice place.
Are you going to swing back through Australia when you go to New Zealand? Like, do you still have friends in Australia?
Going to Melbourne on the way.
Okay.
For like 4 days, but it's literally just to eat in places that we've missed eating at.
Really?
Yeah, we had loads of favourite restaurants and that over there. So we're just going to go.
You're travelling all that way?
Well, no, I'm going to New Zealand. Melbourne's on the way. So
is it though? You could just go direct to New Zealand, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but I want to go to Melbourne for a bit.
Just to
eat? Right? Well, no, I've got a mate there as well.
Okay.
I've got people I know there, but one of the main reasons we're going is because there's loads of restaurants and that.
What area of Melbourne did you live in when you were there?
I live right in the city.
Right in
the city.
Swanson Street?
No, there was Queen Street.
Yeah.
We live right by that at first, and then we moved to an apartment right opposite Southern Cross Station.
Right.
So it was
proper
super central there. And then Amy worked in the Docklands, which is like a little tram ride, like a 10-minute tram.
Yeah.
And I worked in St Kilda, which was like a 20-minute tram.
Yeah.
It was amazing, man. So good. I love Melbourne.
What did you do for work there? Were you tattooing?
I was tattooing, yeah.
Fuck.
You're getting way more money over there as well for
tattoos. Have you looked into how much you're going to get in New Zealand?
I've looked at rates of shops around places. It all depends if you get the work in though, really. But like,
you got to build a profile.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's going to hamper your work if you leave here and then come back? Like, could you come back to the same shop, or are people
come back to the same
forget
shop?
About
Yeah.
you?
No, they don't want me to leave.
Okay.
Like, so they happily have me back. And I think you just get regulars, you know, who just come and get tattooed by you. Because you get people like, oh, I haven't been tattooed since you've been away. You know, and they just wait for you to come home. And that. So I've got loads of people getting stuff finished off and that before I go again, just in case I don't come home. But I'll definitely.
Have you thought that far ahead though? Like, what happens? Because are you allowed 2 years in New Zealand?
I'm waiting for 2 years, yeah. And then it all depends on whether we like it or not. You know,
I'm going to be able to come and see you in New Zealand, possibly.
Yeah, do. We'll hit up some comedy clubs.
That'd be so fun.
But you'll only putting a snide accent on so that they understand me. Because I don't think people are going to be able to understand me properly over there.
I feel like you are the easiest to understand out of all the Scousers.
Everybody thought I was Scottish in Australia. Like, everybody.
Yeah, but like they just don't know Scottish.
Even a guy I worked with for like the whole time I was there, like 2 weeks before I was leaving, we were drinking, and he was like, "Oh, you're good at drinking because you're Irish." I was like, "I'm not." He was like, "Where are you from?" I was like, "I'm from England," and he was just so baffled. Like he thought the whole time I worked with him that I was Irish. I just wasn't. Like,
but like when you say I'm English, you don't sound like we would think English people would sound.
Yeah.
I don't think I quite grasped before I came here how different the accents were.
So many accents. Yeah. Like you can go, even just going from Liverpool, like the centre of Liverpool to my house, which is like 20-minute drive. There's different accents, and you go another 20 minutes and it's a completely different accent.
I don't think people outside this country get it.
No,
like you don't. Because
Australia's just you've got like city and country.
Yeah,
in it, and that's it.
What do I sound, city or country?
There's a little twinge of both, I think.
The funniest thing is I was born in New Zealand.
Yeah, I know. But you don't have a New Zealand accent. No, definitely not.
Do you know anyone in New Zealand? Like, what are you looking forward to? What are you going to? Like, what's waiting for you there?
We've booked a month in an Airbnb.
Okay. In
the middle of Auckland, and then we're just gonna see what happens. There's no plans, man.
That's fucking.
That's what I've done to Melbourne, though. Like,
isn't Callum Oakley going as well?
He's going to Australia,
right? Okay.
For a year, but he's coming back to do tour support for Paul again, I think.
Right.
In August or June, July sometime. So I'm not sure how long he's actually planning on staying in Australia, but I think he's got a year visa.
And is he just looking for something different than Liverpool?
Yeah, I think he got offered some gigs over there, like the Melbourne Fringe or the Adelaide or something. I'm not sure where he's going.
And he was like, why not just fucking move there for a bit?
Yeah, why not? I think his girlfriend lived in Australia for a few years.
Right.
Like working in a vineyard and that. So she knows.
Working in a vineyard?
Yeah, she said she fucking just drank wine most of the time, didn't do anything.
That was literally what our mates did. We've got two mates from Swindon that worked in like a vineyard again, and all they did was stick labels on wine bottles, and they got $28 an hour.
Oh, it's amazing.
Like,
it's so good.
And you've got all the wine you can have.
And you live in Australia.
I know.
Like, so much better than here. It's weird though, because you probably think, do you think he is better than Australia?
No.
No. Okay.
I think I've made a terrible mistake moving to this country. There are a few good things about this country. So this type of apartment, where it is in the city, I couldn't afford to do this in Australia.
Yeah.
Like in Brisbane, in Melbourne, like an apartment like this, right in the city.
It'd be expensive.
This would be so expensive.
Well, our apartment was like $2,000 a month.
Why did you do it? Who was making the money?
Well, I saved a load of money before we went, and then your money doubles. So I was like, oh shit, I've got loads of money.
I'm fucking minted.
So like, I just banged a load of money down on this apartment, but it was only like a small apartment. It wasn't.
It was $2,000 a month.
Yeah, it was 1 bedroom.
Oh my god, it's so much money.
I know, it's ridiculous, and then that wasn't even the bills included either.
Fucking hell.
So.
Are you going to play it smarter in New Zealand?
Probably not. I just...
You like living the high life?
Yeah. It wasn't even the high life, really. The size of the apartment was tiny, but just easier, like, living in the city.
So
we were technically on holiday as well.
Yeah.
So it was like, I'd rather be as central as possible.
See, I don't feel like I'm on holiday anymore.
No, I mean,
it's really
you
faded
are in
for
Manchester
me.
as well.
I know.
Like,
it's really faded. But I feel like as well, a small part of me wants to go and live like in Liverpool or in Leeds for a bit.
A different city.
Or just like something else and just like, but then I'm like, I have everything I need here.
I mean, yeah, you're not going to find anything different in Liverpool than here, really. Like, I
just have to start. It's just me starting again.
Yeah.
Like, it's just constantly starting again. So
it's just the excitement of doing it, I think, isn't it? Like,
The novelty's really worn off for me, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. But then I think it'll big back up as it gets closer to me, like going back home. I think I'm going to have to move to Ireland at the end of the year because when my visa runs out, but my missus is still going to be studying. I'm going to have to move to like Dublin or Cork or something and just fly back over.
God.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I can't go back to Australia because then I'll never see her. Like, I won't see her for 8 months. Whereas if I'm just there, I can still come back and see her.
So what's she doing?
She's doing a degree in teaching.
In Australia?
No, in England. At Manchester Metropolitan Uni.
Right, okay.
So
but your visa for here...
It runs out in November. So unless I work for free for like a church or like a charity...
Yeah.
Which ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, no.
It could do, I don't know, but I fucked up.
Never mind.
I've made a grave error. So have you thought past New Zealand?
Kind of. We want to buy a little bit of land and build a house. That'd be cool.
In England or?
Probably, yeah. More, but that's why we was talking about Edinburgh. Like, it'd be cool to move to Edinburgh, I think. And it's not too far of a drive from places and stuff. But we were looking at Wales and Lancashire and all places like this, man. Just build a little house. Because the dream is to try and live like mortgage free. You know,
okay.
Get a loan or something from the bank to help build the house and stuff. But we want.
How do you live mortgage free if you build?
Because you once you've paid the loan back, say if you got like a 50 grand loan to help you out.
I see.
It's not the same as trying to pay back like 200 grand, is it?
Yes.
You know.
I guess.
So once you've paid that back, you just own the house, and then you live in mortgage free then. And then we want to try and make it like, you know, sustainable. So like grow your own veg and all shit like that, man. Just try and make it as easy as possible to...
Proper hippie you are.
Not even that. It's just like... It's not like a hippie type of way. It's I don't want to be in debt. I don't want to have to pay...
I don't like being in debt.
Shitloads of bills for like electricity and shit like that, you know.
Yeah.
And then we're even thinking like if, depending on how big the land that we end up with is, like... putting it up as like a campsite as well, you know, and then just making money off of that.
Let people camp in your
man.
backyard.
Like that's where when we went camping last year, it was just in somebody's house or on their land. They were in the house while we were there, and it was like 45 quid for the weekend, just to do nothing. They done nothing but got money. And
and you're out there being like, well, yeah, fucking chump.
Yeah. I fucking hate camping as well.
Why did you do it then?
The idea of it was great. We were like, oh, this is going to be amazing. There was a heat wave. We were like, oh, this is going to be such a good weekend. Loved camping. Yeah. Always loved camping. And then we got there and I was like, it's the worst version of everything. Like, we had everything we had in the tent, we had a better version of at home. Does that make sense?
That is camping, mate.
That's camping, innit? I was sat in a shit chair, the shit airbed. That was a single person airbed for 2 people because we didn't check it before we left. We were cooking on a shit stove, eating with shit cutlery. You know, just proper wank stuff. And then to top it all off, in the middle of this fucking heat wave that we had, it was torrential rain for the whole weekend we were there. So we were meant to stay there for 3 nights. We ended up doing 2 nights, and then I threw the tent in a bin. Actually shoved it into the bin on the campsite. I wish
the campsite was a woman's house.
They must have been dead confused because one morning the whole tent was set up, and then the next day it was gone.
It was in
We
the
didn't
bin.
let them know we were leaving. I just threw it in the bin and we left. And we went and stayed in some manor house in Wales with like a swimming pool and a sauna and that. And I was like, this is what we need to do. Like, fuck camping.
Camping. I realised that I was too old for music festivals when I went to Creamfields
Oh, we
and
went to
sat
Glastonbury and done
in
exactly
the
the same.
pissing rain. So we bought airbeds, right? However, the bung that you tie in to make sure the air doesn't go out, we forgot to screw those in. So it was just a hole. So basically, flat airbed on the floor. So not even an airbed,
Super
right?
comfortable.
We bought no cooking equipment, right? No like just like crackers.
Does anybody cook at a festival though?
Well, we just bought
I
like
don't think
food,
they
we just
do.
bought like muesli bars and
Yeah.
stuff to like eat, but like no cooking stuff. The chair we had ended up just getting soaked because it rained the entire time. The tent was like slipping everywhere. There's just mud everywhere.
It's chaos, isn't
and
it?
I'm like, I hate this.
Yeah.
I don't even like these
I
bands.
used to love them as well. One time, first time I ever went to Leeds Festival, I took a whole tray of rice pudding because I thought this will be lovely. This when we're all really high, pull out all the rice pudding. Took like camping stoves and everything, and I just realised nobody uses it. We ended up just throwing the rice pudding at people from the top of a hill because when it hit people, it'd explode, and it was amazing. Didn't even eat it. So the next time I went, we took like just ale.
Yeah.
Just ale and weed. That was pretty much all we took. And then just bought food. It's chaos. Have you ever been to Leeds Festival?
No. I've only been to Park Life in Creamfields, and I don't think I'll ever go to another festival.
Did Creamfields have like essentially riots on the last day?
We didn't even stay to the last day.
Okay.
I hated it that much.
That Leeds Festival on the Sunday night, after all the bands are finished, it just goes to like complete chaos.
Why? Because people are just...
Because everyone's going home, so people just start like robbing tents, setting everything on fire. Like, it's absolute bonkers, right? One time, there was a giant bonfire, and people were throwing like gas canisters and stuff onto them.
What?
And we were all stood around it and we were like super high, just like watching the fire, just praying that our tents are still intact by the time we got back to them. And then out of the corner of my eye, I see my mate with like a double skinner spliff just crawling towards this giant bonfire. While shit was blowing up inside of it, trying to light this spliff off the bonfire. And we just didn't know what was going on. And then the crowd started like realising what was happening. And everyone was like, who's this lad? Who's this lad? And I was like, we call him Boris. His name's not Boris. I thought it was forever, but it's not. I was like, oh, it's Boris. And everyone was like, oh, this guy, fucking Boris. Got him on his shoulders. And then so he had this big double skinner. And he was on this lad's shoulders and everyone was chanting his name. And then somebody handed him a megaphone. And he was like, let's go and burn down the Duracell tent, which is like this big dance tent. And this whole crowd was like, Duracell, and just started moving towards the Duracell tent. And we were just like, what's going on?
Boris,
he was like a king.
Boris suggested burning down a sponsored dance venue.
And he was just like a king on this guy's shoulders. And we were like, oh, this is not going to end well.
Was the spliff lit?
Oh yeah, he lit it off the bonfire.
Oh right, okay, so he
What a
got
great
there.
time.
So after he lit off the bonfire, that's when he became a hero.
Yeah.
Okay, and did the Duracell tent get burnt down?
No, I don't think so. I don't even think we followed because I didn't want to be involved. But like, people just
Let's go and burn down
people just go on rampages and just like destroy people's camps that they've set up. And one time, we were the group I was with went on a rampage and destroyed everybody else's stuff around ours. But then, because they'd done that, they just started destroying our own stuff as well.
Were people like fighting as well, like fist fighting?
Not really.
If someone came in and destroyed my tent, I'd get
they come
really
back.
aggressive.
This is the best bit though. They come back and they were like, what's happened here? And because they fucked all our stuff up as well, they were like, no, I don't know, the bastard's done it to our tents as well. But it was just all them. It was just all my mates just like smashing gazebos up and stuff. And then when they come back, we're like, who's done this to all our tents? They were like, oh, I don't know, but they've done it to ours too.
So did you smash up your own tent?
I didn't smash up anything, but like my mates were just throwing gazebos on fires and all shit like that, man. It's just descends into chaos. People just act like they've never been out before. Like, nobody. I think it's because nobody showers or anything. You know, like
everyone's just agitated
in a field.
Yeah.
So it's essentially like I think people start getting a bit primal. No, because there's no rules, is there? It feels like there's no rules, and everyone's just camped next
there's
to
no
it.
security. Like when all these fires have been started,
Barely security. Like,
but who's putting out these fires?
I don't know. No one. There's just chaos. Honestly, it's like, people get like say it's like riots. Like
That's
people just rob
unbelievable.
shit, man.
And have you not been back to a festival since?
I went to Glastonbury last year,
And it
or the
didn't-
year before.
It didn't go down in the end like that.
No, it's too. No, because we ended
Isn't
up,
Glastonbury 5 days?
No, Leeds is like similar amount of time because you can get early bird tickets, so you can go like a day early and get like better campsite spaces and stuff, you know. But yeah, Glastonbury, I think the time before when I went, I used to drink more and like you know, like had a little party and that. But this time when we went, I was just purely on the weed, and it was like a completely different experience. There was so many people, and I was just high all the time, like walking around. Like I just want to be in bed. I think I just want to be in bed.
So it wasn't enjoyable.
It was enjoyable, but the idea of it again was just better than the reality of it. I think. Yeah. Like when you realise
that's what I realised with Creamfield.
Yeah.
Is that this is not fun. Like while I was there, I was like, I hate every part of this.
Like you forget all the bad stuff about them. Like we were queuing for like 2 hours to get in, and
I'll never ever forget.
I was like, I'm sure we just walked in last time. Like I don't remember queuing, if that makes sense. So when we got there, and we were queuing for hours. I was like, this doesn't seem normal, but it must have been because. There's fucking 100,000 people trying to get into a field, you know. It's mad.
Well, look, Dean, we've done over an hour, mate. Time flies when you're having fun. Yeah. I'm going to make myself a quiche, but...
That's right, I'm going to drive back to Liverpool, not go for a meal, though.
Fuck yes.
Unfortunately.
Well, best of luck in New Zealand, mate.
Thanks, man.
Well, I'll see you before. And when are you going? August?
August, yeah.
Okay, we've still got plenty of time.
Have to come do your night again.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll figure it out, mate. Yeah. Don't worry. Any message for your mum?
No, she won't listen anyway, so...
Message for someone who might listen?
I'll just tell her when I get home. Who listens? Adam Hughes listen. It's mad, isn't he? You're mad, Adam Hughes.